Hey guys, my name is Nick, and I did my research project on Reebok and CrossFit. And my research question was, what happened with the relationship between Reebok and CrossFit, and what are the steps moving forward? So there's actually some little background. Reebok is actually the proud sponsor of CrossFit, and they are called the Reebok CrossFit Games. CrossFit licensed their name to Reebok, and so they were able to make apparel. They even designed a shoe just specifically for CrossFit called the Nano. And so they developed a really good relationship, signed in 2010 for 10 years, and it's supposed to end at the end of the 2020 season. But within the partnership, there's actually been some turmoil. So Reebok is actually withholding over $4 million worth of subsidies to CrossFit, and after this, CrossFit just basically had just basically a bad taste in their mouths and basically did not want to work with Reebok or basically have any big contracts ever again. And so Greg Glassman, CEO of CrossFit, stated that all of the sponsorship opportunities change now, and I'm looking for a 2 to 3 year moratorium on title sponsorship, the highest level. When the Reebok thing is done, we're not going to do another big shoe company that sits that position again. We're done with the exclusive contracts, and I like where we're going. And so this basically throws out the window of Nike. Nike was actually going to be one of my top choices to be taking over the games, because they do have a shoe called the Metcon, but because Greg Glassman doesn't want another shoe company on there, Nike's out the window. And so this basically got me thinking about another company that has a big brand just like Nike and just like Reebok. And so, but without the whole shoe thing, it kind of put things into perspective about, okay, what next? And so I actually looked into Red Bull. Red Bull is actually sponsoring a couple games athletes, especially from Europe. There was a CrossFit Games athlete named Jon Koski, who's actually from Finland, and he is actually at the Dubai CrossFit Championship as of right now, and he was actually wearing a Red Bull swim cap. And so this actually kind of brought everything all together. And so what Red Bull does is that, this is even a quote from my international business class, and so the book stated that Red Bull does a fantastic job of marketing, and they also host a bunch of extreme sporting events as well. They hold the Red Bull Indianapolis Grand Prix here in the United States. They do the Red Bull Air Race in the UK and the Red Bull Soapbox Race in Jordan. They do a bunch of stuff, and so it kind of makes sense that they would want to go towards this direction, like a more energy drink type style. And so like Red Bull would be a good place for it to fit. And so even with their sales, like Red Bull has done amazing. Within an article stated with Forbes magazine, it is number 71 on the world's most valuable brands in 2019, because they sold over 6.8 billion cans of Red Bull last year alone, and that is actually that is plus 8% that there was in 2017. And so they have actually sold in over 171 countries, and so it just makes sense that if CrossFit wants to expand their brand a little bit more, why not go with a company that has the best international marketing there is? And so with this boost of confidence that CrossFit can have with Red Bull, it would be able to diversify the sport, even diversify Red Bull as a whole, sponsoring a whole new sport that basically hasn't been on the market in a very long time. And so it makes sense for both relationships to work out. It would be truly beneficial for for CrossFit and for Red Bull to get together. And so it just makes sense, especially if they're already sponsoring athletes as it is right now. And so that's basically what my research paper was about, just the relationship that could happen and the potential that could happen between Red Bull and CrossFit. Thank you very much.